Trigger warning, I'm emotional. um, Yet it's a mixture of so many different emotions. It's gratitude, first and foremost. It is lots and lots of grief. It is pain. It is peace, presence. There's a lot here. Um, I got called back to live at my great grandmother's house here in the Inland Empire last year through like the most bizarre circumstances and in the most bizarre way. Um, my mom died 5 years ago. Her physical body died because I trust and know that my mother is still alive. I just got a visit from her a few hours ago. Um, And I trust that all of my ancestors are alive, my great grandmother too. I know that she is very much so present here. Ooh, Sally Mae. My great grandmother was in her 90s when she passed away. She passed in 2017, which happened to be the same exact year that my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. I have been witnessing some crazy, crazy shifts, synchronicities, transformations, and they've been happening through me, around me, and I've been a part of them. Sometimes I have caused them. Sometimes I am the pain that is being felt. Sometimes I'm causing the pain, and sometimes people are causing me pain. And landing back here at my great grandmother's house because of the fact that I wasn't well enough to continue living in Bali like I had moved to Bali. So I thought I'd come back home and live with my family, and the shifts that I made out there and the way that I move a lot slower now than I have ever in my entire life. I'm typically a go get a hustler out here making every single move that I possibly can. Spirit has called me into stillness. Even the first 2 years after my mom passed, I kept going. I was working, making moves. Those 2 years were the best experience that like my business, or is really some of the best experiences that I've ever had. But my business performed extremely well. And I'm gonna walk in the backyard with y'all. My business performed extremely well. I got to cook for incredible people, so y'all can hear all the sound healing that happens back here, all the Mama Earth sound healing with all the birds chirping. It's this place is so beautiful and it's crazy. But anyhow, I was called back home. I miss my dad. I miss my god kids and my family. Yet, and they missed me too. Yet they missed a version of me that doesn't exist anymore. And that's fucking terrible for everybody because I miss him too. I miss that version of myself that self-sacrificed and showed up for everything and put my own needs and desires to the side. However, I watched my mother die at 52 because she prioritized everything over her own wellness, and she died the day after her 52nd birthday. She died January 29th, and her birthday is January 28th. And my mom was superwoman. She showed up and did so many beautiful things. I heard this brother, Elton, I'm sure people have heard of him. A lot of people have heard of him. I knew about him when he was a photographer, but I heard him talking about the fact that hairstylists are magicians. I think he was basically saying, he was speaking about the alchemical process that happens with hairstylists. You are touching people's crown chakra. You are feeling parts of them and addressing even, or absorbing parts of them that maybe they haven't even been fully aware of. And my mother carried so many people with her on a regular basis. She was in constant thought of other people's needs and what other people wanted, so much so, that a lot of times she couldn't care for herself in the way that she needed to. She was always late to everything. She was always anxious. Her apartments were always messy and disorganized. Her car, middle console, just full of papers, shit falling all over the place. You open the glove compartment, shit falling out. Open the trunk, okay? Can't put nothing back there, all right? Because half the what should be around the house in the bedroom is in her trunk. So then you gotta, it was just so much stuff. And my granny was very similar. This house where I am right now, this is my father's side of the family. But my mom was also very, very close with my father's side of the family, even though my parents broke up when I was young. But I say all of this to say, I have watched what it means to give all of yourself away and die always chasing for a piece that actually exists right inside of you when you allow yourself to be the type of still that the world tells you is lazy and unproductive and all the things, right? Because in my stillness, I've had to go through a lot of things. Yes, I've had to sleep in my car. I was getting into arguments with family because they were inviting me to come and live with them. However, they were inviting a version, again, that does not exist. So when I was saying no, that I couldn't go places, or, I wasn't feeling well, my grief is taking me over, and I'm cool in the morning, but I'm not cool in the afternoon, or vice versa. People aren't used to holding space for their own grief, so it's very difficult to grieve in a family that avoids pain. And this house to me is such an example of what it looks like to avoid pain, because grandma's house is typically always somewhere that's just like kind of sold and abandoned when grandma passes away. Now, my actual grandmother, my father's mother, is still living here. My grandma Brenda, that's who I live with. So she has taken over her mother's house because, it was about to be gone. And not only has our family lived in this house, not only has this house provided a lot of shelter for our family, but for so many families, for so many generations. My great-grandmother was a foster parent. She also had people in the church. And, Sally Mae Evans was no joke at the same time. She had her heaven and her hell, just like the rest of us, okay? And hers was a little something extra special because she grew up in the 20s, okay? in the segregated South as well, Marshall, Texas. So anyway, there is a lot of pain that we know to have began at, the root of her. She inflicted pain on her daughters, which my grandmother is still living. 2 of her children are still living. My great aunt Doris, has passed on. She's here in spirit right along with everybody else that I be feeling, pushing and tugging and calling and talking and eating and, everything else, drinking tea and doing all the things. They be outside smoking weed. They would have never did that in their human form. Anyway, like this tree, like that tree back there, that with that chair in front of it, like we used to play, like me and my cousins, we played here. My great grandmother has lived here since 91, which is the year I was born. So they've lived here for 34 years and nobody comes to this house anymore. And when my cousin brought my godchildren to the house, she walked in and she said, "Oh my God, like this house," like you could just tell she kind of didn't even want to be here. Everybody that stops by here, my aunties, everybody, it's a quick little, hey, all right, And I can't lie, I used to stop by here the same way because that's the culture. My daddy too. Everybody is a stop by, all right, We gonna sit here talk. All right, ain't nobody spending the night in this motherfucker. And we used to do a lot of sleepovers here, lots of them. But there is a lot of pain, and there is a lot of grief that exists energetically inside of this house. And so it has been abandoned because that is what we do to our pain, because in some way, shape, or form, we have been taught by different systems, institutions, churches, organizations, society, that being in pain, going through darkness, having low moments is evidence of punishment, that being angry, that acknowledging and addressing your jealousy and your bitterness and all of these negative or evil things that we like to label them as that, emotions that our Creator gave to us. Our Creator gave us all of these emotions. Your rage cannot be a burden. It cannot be evil if it protects you in the moments that you need to be protected. We don't have to become these emotions, yet they come to us so that they can come through us, so that we can learn from them, because emotions are teachers. And I recognized when I got back here, which is the reason why I've been going through a lot, because I knew that I was going to end up here in the house of the exiled, because I wasn't going to be able to produce and perform to keep up with everybody's, becoming a Kardashian, goddamn near. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody want to be the motherfucking Jeffersons in this bitch, and it's like, we got all of this land. I be thinking about that. We got all of this land that has not been tended to for so long. And this is not a insult to anybody. It's just a moment to reflect. I've been sitting here with all of my ancestors, looking at all of the things, looking at the place that has raised, that has saved. This house, I think, done been put up to keep people out of jail. Shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, because of the fact that we have so many things that have gone abandoned, that have gone untouched, that have gone unacknowledged, we have abandoned the places and the people to uphold this reputation that we are all innocent, or that there is nothing wrong, but there is nothing wrong. Even when you are stressed out, even when you gotta be 34, living with your grandma and your little cousins and your big cousin. I have my cousin Mandy that lives here too. Man, and she had a hand in raising me. Anyway, I could go on and on and on. Yeah, we have lost an original way, I think, is my original point. Somehow in these ideologies that we have adopted, venerating, celebrating our ancestors, our passed on loved ones, which, I don't really understand, because, if you believe that the Lord is your father and Jesus is the son, you know what I'm saying, then Jesus your brother, and he an ancestor too. Everybody that technically, if we all, you know what I'm saying, we all come from one creator. I don't really want to get into all of that right now, because I've been started some shit I don't want to start. I don't want to get into all that. All I want to say is that the people that we come from, they are energy just like we are energy, and energy never, ever, 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 ever dies. The pain that we feel, that we suppress down, that we be overfeeding, that we like to, numb with all the things that we numb, smoking, fucking, drinking, doing all the things. All of those emotions are energy in motion, and they are inside of our bodies. Unless we find ways to express them, unless we call on those that have come before us, that have already completed their full life cycle, that have some wisdom and some ability to retrospect And in spirit, we can talk with them and we can commune with them and we can come back to the grounds that they laid for us to be able to even continue to live. When I tell you that they say your grandmother's fucking prayers are still keeping you alive, that's not a lie. I was sleeping in my car and I literally was so committed to not coming here, even though I had a home to come to. My grandma was like, why won't you come here? Because I was just tired of fucking dealing with family. Dealing with family. I was tired of it. Like, I'm grieving. I've been a hustler. You can't try to tell me that I'm not doing my life right. You can't tell me that. I deserve to fucking grieve and to be transformed by this grief. And I know I was speaking to a part of them that truly does understand, but this hustle survival mode culture be fucking people up. And it was fucking me up too, because my big ass sitting up there sleeping in the car, getting cramps, my fucking ankles getting swollen. And Spirit said, absolutely the fuck not, when you have a home to come to. Even though I didn't want to come here. I didn't want to come here because of the reputation, the way that it looks, the way that it feels. And Spirit said, you know what? And I saw it. I saw it in my mind's eye. Ooh, I don't know why I felt like I was going to get towed while I was sleeping in my car. And look, you see, pull up to the scene with the grill missing. Okay? Pull up to the motherfucking scene with the grill missing. I was sleeping in this car. Let me tell you what happened. Committed, okay? My homegirl Imani and where she at, because I ain't gonna give her location, but she know who she is. She let me come and spend some nights at her place, and that was so beautiful, during that time, during that month. But I was just so committed because I was like, I'm tired of having to lean on people. And Spirit was like, please, not the person who is always looking out for other people. You don't want to lean out. You don't want to lean on nobody. You want to do this by yourself. That's what you think you're gonna do. And I was sleeping in my car. I knew I had to move. I was by a beach, in a beach city. I knew I had to move, but my regular place that I typically sleep next to the ocean wasn't available, so I parked next to a meter, and I woke up because my tent is dark to these motherfuckers lifting me on the goddamn tow truck. Lifting me on the tow truck while I was in my car. And I already be having dreams and shit. A motherfucker's trying to get me. You know what I'm saying? So I woke up, I was like, no. I thought they was trying to fucking take me. Bitch. I was asleep. Then I was already vulnerable, broke in my car. And depressed about my mama. But she was there in spirit and all these things, but oh my God. I turned the car on, y'all. I threw that bitch in reverse and backed up off that tow truck, threw that motherfucker in drive and said, Skrr! It ripped my grill off when I threw it in reverse. I dragged my grill for a couple blocks. I had to hit a couple corners because I was like, they're trying to get me. It was fucked up. It was a horror scene. I drove to my grandma's. Fuck. That shit was crazy. My grandma said, see, if you would have came here, this never would have happened. I said, what kind of shit? I didn't say that to her, but nah, shit. If it wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have came here because I wasn't coming to this place. I just had to caregive for my mama. Then I got here. The day I got, ooh, I'm shaking. Okay, hold on, let me steady this. All right. The day I got here, my auntie, who had just had a stroke and was in a convalescent home for months, just so happened to max out her time at the convalescent home, and I had to do all the things for her. Bathe her, pick her up off the floor literally because the whole left side of her body was, I think it was the left side. She hasn't been here in about six or 7 months, I believe, but because we weren't able to give her the care that she needed. But man, she ended up asking me one time, she was like, I had to think about this, baby. She said, does this stuff hurt you? And I said, what you mean, auntie? She said, because does it remind you of what you had to do for your mama? And I was so grateful that she acknowledged that. I was so grateful that she acknowledged that because Auntie, my mom used to do Auntie Pat's hair. She's not our blood relative, but she grew up with my grandparents and, you know, their siblings. Um, with my grandma and her siblings, she grew up with them. So she's my auntie, you know, like I've been around her a lot. My mom used to do her hair. My dad used to live with her for a bit. So like I've been around her for a long time. Um, and I was grateful she asked that because yes, it did remind me of taking care of my mother. I just told her, you know, auntie, you know, I appreciate you asking that because, you know, it does, of course, you know, however, you know, you're not my mom, so it's not the exact same. But I just appreciate it. She said, yeah, I had just been thinking about it. And I was like, I don't want you to be hurt. And Auntie Pat ain't no fucking joke. So just even the fact if you knew her, you know, that consideration, even that thought, I've been knowing God is present the entire time. And even though I have been upset and angry and all the things about the way that my life has gone, and I feel like I have the right to be. I was experiencing a beautiful career and my mom got sick again and I had to take care of her. My past partner was going through things on his way to where he was going. My dad came to help take care of my mom. He wasn't working, my mom wasn't working. I was cooking for people, having to like cancel things because my mom was getting so sick and then she ended up passing away. I was just like, what the fuck is all this for? Then me and my ex were arguing all the goddamn time. I was like, can we go to therapy? He was like, nah. I was like, what the fuck going on? I was already going with by myself, child. That time, 5 years ago, around this very moment, because we're in February, this just a few days, you know, post the 5-year anniversary of my mom's passing. I think almost a week, just about a week. And I remember going through all of this, just feeling like, God, I'm dying. So, okay, just take me out already, because there's no way I'm gonna survive this agony. And I survived it, and I thought I was good, and I was working, and things was going well, but the work wasn't actually hitting. You know, when Solange say I tried to work it away, and then I tried to fuck it away. I've been trying to smoke it away. I had to stop drinking because drink exercises grief out your body. You don't want to do that. Yeah. They don't call it a spirit for no reason. They don't call them spirits for no reason, baby. They get up in there, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Even weed, too. Weed will bring it up out you. That's why I be smoking intentionally. I'll smoke and cry in a second, okay? All right, I'm rambling. Venerate your ancestors. Stop thinking that they're demonic. If they demonic, then every other thing that has died, every other person that has died and continued to live is also demonic. But look into thermodynamics. Research some things about energy and how, you know, everything is energy. Breath is energy. This technology is energy. Even the phone is energy. I know it looks solid. I know I look solid for now. But everything is energy. Integy, okay? Integy never dies. It can never be created nor destroyed, only transferred, okay? Y'all got to learn something around these. Got to learn something to y'all. Shit. How this gonna be evil when the Lord created it? I get evil exists. I get it exists. But I said I wasn't gonna go deep like that. We ain't got to go that deep together, okay? Because I don't want to start no fights. I believe everybody can believe whatever it is they want, but I believe in the energy of love, okay? So, if you know love, I love you. That's it. That should be everybody. Everybody know a little bit of love. Even if they, you know. All right, I'm done. All right. I think I got a call soon. Yeah. All right. Y'all have a blessed day. What's today? The 6th, 2/6, 2/6/26. Oh, 2626. That's an angel number. Look that one up too. Peace.